Yeah, so if it just drips some juice out, we're fucked.
Drip some juice.
Like literally, shoot some juice out, we're fucked.
And then they say that all stars eventually die. So
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking, if humans were to be able to live that long for billions and billions of years, and never leave Earth, like which we will, we'll become interplanetary.
Yeah.
At a certain
if we
point,
survive the next 100, 200 years, we will be
definitely. I mean, it's supposed to happen in the next like 10 years. At least that's what Elon
imagine
thinks.
we have the tech now. If they hide in the tech, we have the capabilities. I already know these ET police is just watching us like hawks.
Yeah, they're gonna create an Elysium type shit. But if the sun, if humans are able to live until the sun dies, hypothetically speaking, humans are, well, the entire Earth, not just humans, but this entire, and like let's say we're the only beings in the galaxy and in the universe, which I don't think is a good possibility, but that would just be the end of life, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it is all this is quackery and we are the only, it would be the end. But if it's true, why would we be here billions of years and we already have the tech to leave now?
What do you mean by that?
Earth would probably be
Like
there probably
prophecy
no
type?
human. What I'm trying to say is like if all them dudes from Lockheed are serious about like you've seen it on Star Trek, we've done it. We could take ET home. They've had it since the 50s. Why would we be here billions of years from now when it's time to blow up? We'd be gone. We'd be in other galaxies.
Oh, that's what you
We'd
mean.
have several.
I
we'd
thought
have
you were
several
making
planets.
it like a philosophical, like why?
They
Like,
would have
what's the
evacuated.
purpose?
Earth would probably be nothing. Earth probably be gone by then.
No, they gonna
Humans
turn
might
this
still
shit
be
to
alive.
like an Elysium type shit. There's gonna be an
Yeah.
Elysium type joint where everybody,
Yeah, we
it's
gonna
just the
have-
ghetto. Earth is just the ghetto, and off in Mars and on the moon and the space stations, that's where the real civilization is.
By then we're gonna be in Andromeda. We're gonna be in whole different galaxies. By then we're gonna be gone.
I think we see, and we can start after this. I think we see humans become technology before we see humans meet extraterrestrials. I think that
What do you mean?
I think that like bionic human that's synced up with technology, where essentially we're like robotic consciousness, would happen before anyone finds out that like we're in communication with aliens or whatever. I really do.
I think if shit goes the way it's supposed to go, it's gonna happen this year. But I could be wrong.
We shall see. That's the thing.
But I just think the evidence is too palpable, man. I just feel like everybody knows about Roswell. That's apparently what they're talking about. The rumor is that it may not happen, but the rumor is that this month they're going to be releasing like high def, not that bullshit they've been releasing in the last couple of
Like in
years. They're going to be
2020.
releasing high def, 4K, can't argue it.
I want to see
UFO footage.
I want to see it because I'll believe it if I see it. Because all these other joints, for some reason, that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. Tyson.
Yeah, he's
Tyson
gonna get
said.
exposed. In the next year, that dude's gonna he's gonna be
he's a naysayer.
he's gonna be exposed. He's the one of the biggest skeptics.
He was saying, and it makes sense. Like his reason for not believing that we found aliens on the planet at least makes sense. He says that why is it, we have smartphones that have the highest. We could take fucking high quality pictures of the moon, bro, thousands of miles away. But a motherfucking UFO that's hovering 50 feet above us, it's always some grainy ass footage, some black and white footage. No one ever has seen a picture. All the cameras we have on the fucking planet.
But the thing is,
and we ain't
there is a lot of footage. I've seen so many footage of UFOs,
like
and this is what
they're
happens.
just not
This is what the Neil deGrasse's do. CGI.
Which is
AI
good.
generated.
Like that's a good argument.
Deepfake.
That's a good
And
argument, though.
It is.
Because we're going to have to have that conversation in a few years. We're going to have to actually have that conversation about, like, people. Like, people aren't going to believe that people were doing certain things or that people... Remember when Donald Trump got arrested or was about to get arrested and people were floating those pictures of him getting arrested on the internet and people thought I thought that was real. But then you're going to have to walk it back and, like, actually do the fact checking, do the research and find out that shit was a deep fake. The world... Like, that's what I'm saying. I think that we're going to have technological conversations. We already have the AI shit happening right now. We're going to have technological conversations before we have real, like, dooming, glooming, like, consequential conversations about alien technology or aliens living among us and stuff like that. Even though that has been a rumor and a theory that people have had for the longest periods of time, bro. People say that there's paintings and stuff from thousands of years ago where people will look at it and be like, oh, you see that image right there? That's actually them painting a UFO or whatever.
Yeah, man. They're ancient civilizations.
I think humans just don't like to be alone. I think humans just don't want to think that we're alone.
I think we're being lied to, and all the schools and all the media apparatus and we've been being artificially held back. You gotta understand, like, I think it's as simple as we probably were created by a lot of these ETs, and the global economy capitalism be over. If that's true, you've seen it on Star Trek, and you know that in Star Trek they live in like this like perfected communist society, basically.
Okay.
Because there's abundance.
Yeah.
You have a replicator in your house. Anything you need is at a press of a button.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no scarcity.
Yeah, that's your theory is that like them releasing the fact that, you know, aliens are here and, you know, we have all this alien tech and stuff and we're in communication with them would completely disrupt the way that our current civilization and society works as a whole when it comes to like the monetary systems and like people staying in line and with the status quo and the agenda and stuff like that, which makes sense. But I mean, humans are so like sheep. We're sheep, bro.
And whatever they tell us to do, humans need hierarchy.
I don't think we'll ever. Yeah, they do. Like that's just natural. That's just animals. That's just how nature works. But I don't think we'll ever see a time in our lifetimes, at least, where humans on a global scale create like anarchy and buck the system. I don't ever think that we'll see that ever. Yeah, we're gonna adjust to everything.
Even with 0 point energy, I think it's gonna be people like, especially with white supremacy, people are not gonna just go laying down. Like even if that tech is leaked online tomorrow and people can, you know, energy sector went to zero, there's always gonna be somebody trying to create some artificial scarcity.
Yeah,
government trying to
it'll always exist.
Yeah,
that's just how humans work for some reason. Let's go ahead and intro our pod though. Let's go ahead and intro this episode.
It's 62?
65.
65.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, everybody. I know we went deep into you know, the UFO thing, but
we had to touch on it a little bit.
Welcome back. We had to touch on it, but welcome back, episode 65 of Top Tier Podcast. My name is Pale Poppy.
Nick Hogan here.
Man,
how was your week, man? You look good, bro. You've been working out a little bit. See a little definition in the shoulders? Am I wrong?
A little bit. I've been changing up my diet. I have like really bad gut issues, you know, so I've been really on this like, you know, I have like diagnosed like SIBO and like candida, all that stuff, you know, so I've been really like on like a serious detox cleanse, like taking all these supplements, taking like, you know, like
taking
antifungals and like getting serious. Yeah, like doing saunas and like rinsing out my nose. Like I've been really getting serious. Like this fucking, I put the water bottle away. I was just drinking. It has like a whole bunch of electrolytes and vitamins in it.
Nice.
You know, I have to drink like this nasty ass smoothie every morning that has all this crazy shit in it.
You're gonna have to put me onto that regimen, bro. I need the skin glowing. I need the definition and everything.
No, I'll send it. I have it.
I'm gonna have to get on the program. You might have to monetize that.
Cause I feel like I've been sick, you know, since I went to college. I was around all this mold and just like
Jesus.
I feel like all this shit just like fucked up my stomach.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, they trying to kill us out here. We already been knowing that. But how was your week, man?
It was good, man. I just went to work, you know. We were playing Stardew Valley with y'all. I'm about to go see a movie tomorrow.
Mission Impossible.
What about yours, man? Mission Impossible, yeah.
Yeah, I've been chilling. My job hunt officially ended, so I finally landed myself.
Okay, I see.
At a nice corporate job. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. My week has just been taken up basically I've been searching the internet trying to figure out some of these topics this week. This week has been dry as fuck. My entire timeline is just that gang girl, that NPC streamer chick.
Yeah, bro.
That's it.
I don't like. And for those who don't know about what this whole NPC thing is, it's like these streamers, they like pretend like they're NPCs. So like they be doing like this. You know how NPCs do like these like the same movements over and over. So they be moving like this, and then like people will send like an icon. So this is like if it's like an ice cream cone, they'd be like lick, delicious.
Yum yum, ice cream so good.
Or this one dude was doing like a Miles Morales one. He was like standing like Miles. He was like, "Yeah, I went to my uncle's grave recently. I'm so sad.
You guys see any danger near?"
Yeah.
They just be.
Oh, my spidey sense just went off. It's really creepy, honestly.
NPCs are video game characters. What the fuck is an NPC?
Yeah, non-player characters. So
right.
The dudes, like this random people you talk to in the game. They give you items, or you fight them, or whatever.
Bro, humans are getting so fucking weird. Like I feel like recently I can't get surprised, but I am surprised by all the shit that I be seeing, but like nothing surprises me at this point. We actually have people out here that are making thousands of dollars acting like a fucking video game character. Are we serious right now?
They making bands.
They are making bands, but I'm just confused by the people that enjoy that type of content. I don't get it.
I think it's because you feel like you have control over the person. I mean, it's like,
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You're an NPC, right? You're playing the role of NPC. Yeah. So they're the player characters who get to give you the stimuli or get to give you the command to do whatever they want, and they pay for it.
And it's like instant gratification, which is social media is all about instant gratification. So I guess that makes sense. But people be on it for like, how long do you think people are like watching that shit though? To spend money on it?
Probably for hours, dude. It's really weird.
Is it something they're actively watching where you sitting there with the phone in front of your face and like watching it and like seeing, because she's just saying, at least the one chick, I don't know her name, but the one chick we talking about, she's just sitting there saying the same like 5, 6, 7, 8 lines.
Yeah, she's just like gang, gang, lick, lick, and then bring the popcorn. She's like pop, pop, pop.
Dude, she's like pressing popcorn on a fucking flat iron. That's a trend now, I think, though. I don't know if that was a trend before, but I've been seeing, like we said, with the Miles Morales dude, I've been seeing like a lot of people trying to catch that wave.
That's just gonna be big, man.
You making me I might have to dip my toe in there.
Actually, because like, remember, we saw a critical mass of like people getting into anime and into cosplay. This is about to be huge. You're about to be seeing that Miles Morales one convinced me. You're gonna be seeing Goku. You're gonna be seeing Eren Yeager talking about, I will kill them all.
They'll do everything.
The rumbling is starting. Biting the hand, right. Just wait.
Remember when I was saying,
does an Attack on Titan, biting his hand to transform.
Remember when I was saying that we're gonna see humans be like more like I'm at a loss for words, but more like synced up with technology before we see the aliens, that alien conversation really reach ahead. I think that this is kind of just like proof. The fact that we have human beings that are not only pretending to be video game simulation characters, but human beings are like entertained by other human beings pretending to be video game characters, like simulation computerized characters. Right. That kind of just that says something to me a little bit. I might be reaching, but it says something to me a little bit. Because I already think that humans are kind of getting synced up with tech anyway. That's bound to happen.
I just think, I don't know. I think we can go two directions. I think we're going to be, I think humans are going to be like, we're either going to go the direction where it's like we're just robots, where it's just eventually AI. We replace ourselves so much with tech, we just basically humans die and it's just robots.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think.
Or I think we're going to reach like, we're going to be like Avatar Airbender monks with like super high tech that we can't even imagine.
But that would require
like at peace. Like
humans are too evil.
We've attained like.
We're too immoral for that.
It's probably going to require some type of DNA tweaking, but I think we're going to go.
They have.
There's two different directions we're going to go. Both are going to be high tech though, but I think we're going to either become just like Airbender, just egalitarians that value our flesh, or we're going to just be like these unfeeling robots that are just.
I think it's the latter. Honestly, it might be both, because humans don't give a fuck. Even though like there's this, like everyone wants to say they're spiritual now or whatever, there's a big like rise in like spiritualism and stuff like that, and everybody's saying they're in tune with the body and meditating and stuff like that. But I think humans are really too vain for that to become like an abundant thing where humans just evolve to be spiritual beings. Everybody's just a fucking guru. I don't think we'll see that, not in our lifetimes. All right, let's get started here. I want to talk about LeBron James at the ESPYs. LeBron James received an ESPY. A round of applause for LeBron James, I suppose. You know, he does deserve that award. He got an award for, I think it was like breakthrough performance or like best in-season performance or something like that.
He's a great player. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah, because he broke Kareem's record for 38,000 points, which is a tremendous feat. Like, congratulations for LeBron. I always like to lead with the love before I lead with the hate, because I'm too much of a hater sometimes. So I'm a hate on,
and to let the Bronsexuals down gently.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Because I'm about to hate on LeBron right now. This nigga. So they had Savannah James, his wife, come up on stage and give him the award, which is a great moment. He had his kids there and everything like that. But they made her bring him up on stage by calling him the GOAT. And this nigga took the opportunity to take this award and not do it humbly, but to make it like a situation where he's talking about his retirement And eventually he says like, I still got more in the tank. I'm not retiring this year. Lucky for y'all. My biggest thing with LeBron James, I hate him for a lot of different reasons, but I respect him. But one of the reasons why I hate him so much is because it seems like every single opportunity he gets to kind of like steal the show and make it really about him. We already know you're the greatest, bro. We already know you're the greatest. I mean, hold on. Because everybody, you can have your Jordan argument and everything like that. You know, that's up to debate. But he is the greatest. Like, just speaking
in the game currently, yeah,
he is the greatest, or at least 1A or 1B or whatever you would say. But my biggest thing with LeBron is that it seems like every single moment he gets, it's just like to make sure. It's almost like he's so insecure. He always wants to make sure that people are like, hey, you guys know, by the way, I'm the GOAT, right? Any situation he gets, especially recently, he's just like making sure that he's self-proclaiming himself as the GOAT. Never seen anybody who is the theoretical GOAT do that. So are you the GOAT? If you have to remind everybody you're the GOAT.
If you have to remind people, I don't think you're the GOAT. And listen, he's in the top. He's in that realm, you know?
Yeah.
If it's just a hand and every finger is like a legend.
Right.
He's in the collective.
Yes.
Right?
Nobody would disagree with that.
You can't argue that.
Not at
if
all.
There's just a top 5 and it's fixed as of now.
Top 2. I mean, that's up to debate, but go ahead.
He's definitely in the top 3. You can argue where he is in the top 3,
right.
but he's in the top 3.
Right,
and the other 2 is Kobe. I think Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah. And nobody
think even Steph is in the. I think Steph is number 5. Honestly,
yeah. Like the fact that we have to like rank everybody and stuff like that, like that sucks because they're all great, amazing players, legends. So I'm not gonna like go on my top 10 ranking. I'm not gonna give my top 10 ranking or anything like that right now. That's not what I'm talking about. But like everybody already knows, LeBron James is gonna go down in history as one of the best, not just one of the best NBA players, but one of the best athletes of all time. He's done so many amazing things.
I think his issue maybe is that he knows he's getting older and he hasn't solidified that he is the very best.
You took the words right out of
my mouth. That ever was, like a Pokemon, like
right.
Best no one ever was.
Like how
stuff.
they do with Jordan, where it's just flat out, there is no argument. You ask anybody on the street, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say Jordan is the best player of all time. He doesn't have that. And so his way of going about it is to create these scenarios we all know about when he went up to Miami and he had the ESPY. I still remember that because I watched that shit. He made a huge deal out of the fact that he was leaving the Cleveland. To my knowledge, that's the only player that has ever had a fucking sit-down interview. It's probably like 30 minutes where he sat down and had an interview about where he was taking his talents next. Mm-hmm. He gets these situations where he wants to glorify himself. But if we already know, that's why I called him insecure, because you don't have to say you're the GOAT. He does it every single season. After we won the championship, I say we because I'm a Laker fan. After we won the championship in 2020, during the bubble, the COVID bubble, this guy got on his own show and said, that one right there, speaking about the championship, that one made me the greatest of all time. That one made me the greatest of all time. Kobe Bryant would never say this type of stuff. Like the GOATs that other people say are the GOATs would never. Jordan has never said this.
Because I think they know the performance speaks for itself. There's no reason to say it
at all. Yeah. And you were talking about earlier before we got on that like this isn't just with NBA. Like this transcends into like any aspect, any industry. Steven Spielberg, you were talking about Mike Tyson, you can get that point off, but like Steven Spielberg will never say, who's like, I mean, if you guys don't think he's the greatest director of all time, I don't know what to tell you, but you're just not speaking facts. You're just lying to yourself. But you'll never see Steven Spielberg or Michael Jackson come up and be like, yeah, I'm the greatest of all time. What can I tell you? Right. And say it every single year.
The people have decided that. I think that's the key difference is you can, even stat wise, he could be the GOAT. Right. But he's not the people's champion. I feel like that's probably what that's maybe what the issue is.
Yeah. You know? That's where my bone is.
And how many people when they take a shot, do you hear people say LeBron? Like
I've heard that argument before too.
Like I've heard it, I've heard it before. But you hear Kobe. We're gonna just keep it a buck.
Or when you see somebody do something great and spectacular on the court, you say, "Oh, damn, that
he's
looks
the
like
Jordan of this."
Yeah,
that's the Jordan of this.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
right. Like,
yeah, when you talk about different things, like, oh, he's the Jordan of this activity.
Right. That's probably why when it comes to that GOAT conversation, LeBron probably will never get that unanimous people's champion vote, like you were saying, because everybody that maybe when like the old niggas die off, people might say LeBron is the GOAT. But when it comes to just like when people think of the sport of the NBA, when people think of in just like athletes in general, when you think of like the pinnacle of greatness, it's just Jordan. And it was like such a different time back then where like you're transcending a sport. The same way we kind of see Steph transcending the sport a little bit. Michael Jordan took that shit to a global rank. Mm-hmm. So you'll never see that again. Like it's upsetting. It's probably upsetting for LeBron because there's nothing he can really accomplish. I mean, he literally just he has the record for the most points of all time. Mm-hmm. And all these other records.
Like, on paper, he's number one. And in a lot of aspects,
and still to this day, I don't think you're going to see many people say but
the rings. People are like, but the rings though,
and that's a good argument.
The finals record though, it's not looking good.
Yeah,
it's like,
he has a lot. He has a lot.
Who has a finals record that extensive? I don't care if it's all L's. Mm-hmm. Most people are not getting to the finals at that level, but people don't care.
10 times.
It's like, did you do it or you didn't do it?
Right.
I don't care how many times you went to the finals.
Yeah.
Some people say it looks worse because, like, he got to the
that's
finals.
That's what I think. I think so.
Yeah, it looks worse. Like, dude, but you didn't deliver in the last moment. So it doesn't mean shit.
Which is unfortunate, but like, it's gonna take. It probably would take him to win a couple more chips before he would probably have to get to the number Jordan is at in order for people to be like, all right, nigga.
Because he's matched the rings and he's surpassed in other aspects.
Right,
so
right.
Yeah, but I still think even if he did that, people would just have such an attachment to Jordan. It would change.
It's really that attachment. Yeah. I think that when our generation is like 50 and 60-year-olds, and we've had like a couple more generations come after us, where they're probably not going back. People already don't go back to watch like old highlights from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. But when we start having kids and they start having kids and they're just watching LeBron James highlights and stuff like that, they'll probably be like, well, statistically, this guy is the best, so he must be the greatest of all time. That might be a thing. But then again, like people saw Wilt Chamberlain play, and that nigga has all the fucking stats. This nigga scored 100 points in the game.
You never hear him in the conversation.
Nah, people don't really put him on the top 10 like that.
Because he's old. And I think people take it away from him because it was like he was in a completely different game where it's like, it's almost like he was born early. So he just dominated.
But people say that Bill Russell, who played at the same exact time, he played against Wilt Chamberlain. You've heard of Bill Russell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, people say Bill Russell is on the top 10 or top. Some people put him top 5. Some people put him number 1. And he played during the same time. What it is with Wilt is that he didn't win championships. So that championship, I think he only has like 1 championship or like 2 championships. That championship argument is really, because you got to win, bro. Like, this is a sport. You got to win. That's really what holds. Like, if you can't say that I got these rings, like when Tom Brady be holding up like the 6 rings and stuff, like, and Kobe be holding up the 5 and stuff. If you can't say you got rings, then
it don't mean anything. Like, I've seen so many shows about this. Like, you could be amazing. You could be the greatest that ever walked the earth. But if you're not winning tournaments, you're not winning contests, it don't mean shit.
Right. Yeah.
You could be amazing. You could 1v1 anybody, but if you can't take home the victory, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
And it's so hard for me too. Now he's on the Lakers now, so like I have to root for the Lakers, but kind of like still maintain that hate for LeBron. It's hard for me, but I guess it's kind of like
just not being
a
humble
win-win conversation. Yeah, he's not a very humble, which
I
don't think is necessarily the worst thing. Like you could brag about yourself. Like if you are the greatest in your field, go ahead and brag about that.
Yeah,
shit. I just don't like when he has to
go.
I don't like when he tries to steal that shine and make it seem like, yeah, since I did this, am I the GOAT now?
Right.
Go ahead.
When Mike Tyson, I saw a video of Mike Tyson that asked him, so prime Iron Mike, prime Muhammad Ali, 1v1 blood match, grudge match, who is winning that fight?
Mm-hmm.
He was humble. He was just like, the dude is just like, he's so intelligent, but he's so humble and evil with how he fights. I don't think I could handle that. And people were like, yeah, he's being humble. Yeah, because like Muhammad Ali's really the Jordan of boxing. Like, let's just keep it a buck.
Right, for the most part. But like about Muhammad Ali, like you just made me think, because Muhammad Ali was a very outspoken guy about saying like, I am the greatest and stuff like that. So in a way, like, the point that I made about like, I've never seen another athlete self-proclaim themselves as the GOAT. I guess you could say Muhammad Ali kind of did that in a way.
Right.
To me, it felt like it was more of a self-love type of thing. Maybe I'm just caping. I don't know. Maybe I'm caping. But What do you think? Like, if to me, when I'm looking, because it seems like,
Right.
that was around when racism was at a height.
Yeah.
I think it was more so him trying to just like clap back at the naysayers and at the racists, kind of saying like, no, I am the greatest. Like, I'm going to support myself.
I think it was more so him clap back at the racists
Yeah.
before they said he went to prison.
Right. It wasn't
I think that was
necessarily him saying like, I am the greatest boxer ever. Even though he was saying that though, so it's kind of like maybe I'm reaching with
And
that.
truthfully, I think Prime Iron Mike is beating him. I don't know how close the fight would be.
He probably would, yeah.
I think Prime Iron Mike is beating Muhammad Ali. I don't think it's going to be a complete beatdown. I think Muhammad Ali is fast, and I think he hits
But so is
critical
Mike.
strikes.
Yeah.
But Mike is fast, and I think he just got more blows. He got more strength behind
He
the
got
blows.
more strength. Because all Muhammad Ali has on him is height and reach.
And his speed.
But the speed, I think, matches up.
Even
Tyson,
Mike said that he thinks his defense wasn't that great, but his speed was his defense.
Yeah, but if you can knock a nigga out,
he was an intelligent fighter.
If you can knock a nigga out within a round, though, then I don't know. That's why when people say Floyd is the best, that's kind of like that LeBron argument. Because people say Floyd is the best because his record is just like impeccable, and the way that he's able to, his IQ at the game, he's able to just like take points off
He's
people.
a point fighter.
Yeah.
He is not a knockout fighter.
That's why, like, if you put him in the ring with Tyson, he might win. He might end up winning the fight because he can like get his points and play
can get out and get his
defensively.
points.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So it's boxing. It's not street fighting. If you put Street Fight Mike, wasn't that a game back in the day? Street Fight Mike or something like that. If you put,
I don't know. I definitely do. I do think there was like a street fight, or wasn't there like a NBA? They used to play like my cousin used to play some crazy games. Like there was like this like street football game where
on
you
them
could,
old
like,
consoles.
Yeah,
your
like on
Sega Genesis
PS2 and
type.
PS1, you could like beat the fuck out of people. You could like, you running the ball in football, you can punch people and kick them and drop kick them and pick them up. And it was like, I was like, what the hell? I was like 4 or 5 years old.
If you put a street fight version of Mike up against Floyd Mayweather, he's taking him down. I'm sorry. Tyson is winning that one. Speaking of GOATs, there was the Brooklyn Library this week put up an exhibit for Jay-Z, which covers his entire discography and just his career in general, called the Book of Hov, which it was beautiful. It looked really nice. My first thought when I saw that, though, was like, they did this for Jay-Z before they did this for Drake? Am I hating with that?
I think you hating, bro.
Am I crazy?
Because you got to remember, Jay-Z came up in that era with Nas and Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
He came up in like the most prolific, one of the most like establishing eras of like modern hip hop, or where we eventually went to.
Yeah.
Drake came along in like 2010.
Yeah, he's a newer artist.
These dudes came around in the 90s when hip hop was like really at its peak. Like I think authentic hip hop. Well, the bullshit coming out today, I don't even know what that is, but that was like the golden era of hip hop was when Jay-Z and he also, all this was taking place for the most part. I know some West Coast was big, but this is for the most part taking place in the birthplace of hip hop.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's very, that was hip hop renaissance, and he was a pivotal figure. I think he deserves that more than Drake.
Yeah.
At least initially.
Drake
will get his.
Yeah. He should. But I just think for some reason, man, Drake already has cemented himself. I know for a time before Drake came around, you could say the argument, and some people still hold that argument true to themselves, that Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time, hands down. He's done it the longest. Kind of like the LeBron argument. That's why I brought it up with right after we had that LeBron conversation. But I think that in the short period of time that Drake has been around, he has already cemented himself as the greatest rapper. I think that people just don't want to give him that credit. Yeah.
I just don't think, just like ability-wise, he's the greatest rapper. But I think the whole package, the singing dude, he's a pop rapper. I think he's in that realm, he's the greatest. But when we talking about like more old school hip hop and bring them into the fold, I just don't think he stacks up.
Yeah, but this is my thinking. And I'm gonna keep saying it, but sorry to sound like a broken record, but it's kind of like that Jordan LeBron argument. It might be exactly like that, where people that were living during a time in the 90s and during the 2000s, coming up with that hip hop, you called it a hip hop renaissance, which I think is a good word. Jay-Z was like the pinnacle of hip hop. It was no debate. This guy is flat out the best. But I think that people like our age from a different generation are seeing this guy Drake break all these records, have some of the most selling albums of all time, streaming wise. And we can have a debate about streaming. We can have that conversation if you want, but he's still breaking all these sales records, all these streaming records. Statistically speaking, this guy is the best rapper of all time. And also on top of this, globally, Drake has a bigger reach than I think Jay-Z does.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
And on top, I could keep adding it up.
I think I've told you this before, yeah.
Relevancy. Jay-Z still makes albums and they're going to do well. He's married to Beyonce, so he's always going to be in the fucking limelight. Right. But relevancy, Drake holds that ring as well. He holds that belt as well.
But it's a different game. Like, and that's why that basketball comparison was great, because there's eras of basketball too.
Yeah.
Where do you think Jordan could survive this era, the super team?
I see what you're saying.
You know, super shooter era, sniper era.
Yeah.
Do you think he would do as well if prime Jordan came up in that era?
So, like, to put it back into what the analogy we're talking about, like, do I think Drake, if he was coming up during the 90s, in the 2000s, would be able to be at the same level he's at right now if Jay-Z was around?
They would laugh him off the block, I think.
I don't think so.
I think Kanye opened the door for Drake.
Kanye's another. I didn't even think about, like, Kanye's another one. Like, and I hate Kanye right now because of what
that like polo shirt
wearing
kind of poppy kind of rapper. I think Kanye opened the door for that.
But Kanye deserves, like, I just think there's other rappers, and I get why Brooklyn would do it. He's a Brooklyn artist, so I get why Brooklyn would do it. It's not like this is like some national museum that is putting Jay-Z on just a permanent stay in the museum or anything like that. So they're just, celebrating a local artist, basically. That's, to put it lightly, he's more than just a local artist. But I think there's other rappers that I haven't seen this been done for that I think deserve that same level of appreciation.
Kanye is next. Kanye changed the game. Say what you want about Kanye, call him a coon, call him a Nazi, right? Which is all true. Don't get me wrong, it's all true, and I like a lot of his music. I can't consider myself a fan, but I do listen to some of his music.
Right.
But that man changed the game.
Yeah.
Like, watch his, if you don't hate him enough to, are curious, watch his documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, that was a good documentary.
Still up or not. They were walling him out of the game for a long time because he wasn't, I forgot what the name of the sound. It was like late 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. There was like a certain kind of rap that was around. Like, they were kind of tailoring off the 90s, but it still was heavily 90s, but it was more morphing in the early 2000s, where it's like Kanye, like, you don't have that kind of energy. You don't have that kind of masculinity, kind of swagger to really, you're a producer. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I want to move into a different kind of rap. I want to put on the polo shirts. Like, I want to experiment with these kind of sounds.
Yeah.
And they were more signing him. It took years of hustling before it really caught on.
Yeah, he'll get his credit. I think he deserves
But
his
I feel like he opened the door for Drake. I feel like without Kanye, there is no Drake.
Right.
In my opinion.
No, that's
Wayne,
true.
And there's no, there's no Drake without Wayne either.
Right. That's true. I just think that, we can leave it here probably, but I just think that Drake already is like, man, you better start giving him his flowers now. I think he deserves them now. Mm-hmm. But I think that it's just too early, maybe. I suppose it's too early. We're still
Drake
living it.
It's like, what, in late 30s, pushing 40? I think when he's in his mid to late 40s is probably when you're going to start seeing more Drake.
When he retires.
More Drake looking back,
unquote.
and like, look what he did. Like, then you see, because Jay-Z's in his 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on the downtrend of his career. Still making music, though. We got some more new music topics. Let's talk about Travis Scott.
Utopia.
Yes.
Been waiting for that for years.
Yes. Travis Scott has given an announcement that he will be releasing Utopia. I don't think he's given it a release date yet. But he has given an announcement that Utopia, his newest album, is coming. And to celebrate the release of it, I think he's going to be performing at the Giza pyramids, which is pretty intense. I want to walk everybody back because we haven't seen Travis Scott come out with anything since he had that fiasco. Yeah, at his Astroworld festival.
10 people died, if I remember correctly.
Right. Yeah. So this is going to be his first appearance. This is huge for him to come out with, for the first time, basically, with this level of an appearance. I don't even know if anybody's done this before. This
is a big comeback. They're going for broke. It kind of reminds me of DaBaby when he tried to have that comeback, but like times 1,000.
When did that happen? What comeback?
And that song's kind of blowing up. Remember he made that music video like a month or two ago? It was like, we're hands on our knees, hands on our knees.
Oh, but he just released a single.
Shorty with her hands on her knees.
He just
but that song started kind of, yeah. But he did like a whole music video because the baby has been considered dead before he released that video.
Yeah, he is dead.
And still is.
But I thought, because we had that conversation a while ago about whether or not we thought that Travis would be able to make a return and if he would be able to reach the heights that he reached before, or if his career was going to slowly die and wither away. If he would even show his face again, basically. And I think that this is kind of like, first of all, I don't even know how he was able to book the Giza pyramids. So he must be carrying a certain level of weight.
A lot of those pyramids were walled off by the government.
I don't know how he's doing it.
Government over there.
I don't know how he's doing it. But he's a global artist. And the guy's going to be performing for the first time in years in front of the Giza pyramids. I mean, I don't know. I might be underselling it. I keep saying it over and over. I just think that this is a huge deal.
Do you think, I mean, this is really his last chance, I think. But I think Travis is popular enough he could survive something like that. Most artists would not survive.
It seems like he will survive it. Yeah. I think he will survive it. I think so. He's been going, he's already touring. Yeah. He's already touring currently. So people are still going to watch Travis. It's not like the fans are like, you know, they feel like, you know, they're taking it personal what happened at Astroworld. They're still sticking with him. I just didn't know that he was going to have the confidence to be able to come back in this type of way. I don't know why I felt like he would feel like a certain level of guilt and kind of like crumble underneath the pressure.
It's been years now, so it's been like a year or two.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Over it. Maybe he's ready, you know, chase a bag, or that would be awful if he just didn't feel anything about it. I don't think that's the case, but you know, some people are unfeeling.
Yeah, and he won that lawsuit, by the way. I don't think he has to pay any damages personally.
Because it really, honestly, to be honest, it's really the venue's fault. It's really, you know, the people who allowed that to go down.
I thought you said it was a little bit of Travis's fault.
I mean, I think it is his fault to a certain extent, but like,
well, which one is it?
Like, if I listen, like, if I have a if I have a it is kind of his fault because he kind of enabled it. Now he didn't have the final say on it, but if he saw it was too many people, he could have been like, hey, can you tell them to cut this off? Can you tell them to, you know, expand it, do whatever you need to do, but we need to stop letting people in. You know, start giving refunds out, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because this is a little crazy.
Yeah.
He could have, you know, but he was just like, let him in.
I suppose. Who knows?
Get him in here.
I suppose.
And there was like, you know, the people who gave the final say was like, you know what, Travis? We're going to let him in.
He was like, yeah, sure.
He could use that. He could use that in court and be like,
yeah, I see some space over there. Bring it in.
They didn't have to listen to me.
Yeah.
They're the ones who set up all the contracts for insurance and venue and all that. That's not my fault.
Yeah. No, I'm glad he got off with that because I don't think any of that shit was his fault personally. I see what your point is. Like he could have definitely taken more of a, you know, delegation role. He probably could have took over a little bit and you know, made a final decision. I just don't think that. I think it's the venue's fault. I don't think that the artist should be in charge of making sure that the venue isn't reaching capacity and that there's people that you're fucking performing. Your job is to perform, but we don't need to unpack that. You want to move on to this Tom Holland situation?
Yes. So Twitter is in a uproar about there was a clip that surfaced, and a lot of people said they just showed up on their timeline where Tom Holland's in a new series. Is it a movie or is it a series?
It's a series on Apple TV. It's called The Crowded Room.
He was getting his cheeks clapped.
He was getting his cheeks clapped in a gay sex scene.
It looked like in a gay sex scene, and all the homophobes came
out
over Twitter,
as they always do. I saw a lot of people.
My thing about it is, if I'm not ready to get on the hub, I don't want to see sex. Period. So that's my stance on it. I don't care if it's gay or straight.
I think that no one ever complains when it's a straight sex scene. You might hold that thought. I don't think a lot of people do.
That's me personally. But yeah, I agree. In general, most people do not care if it's a straight sex scene. They just kind of like, they might even skip it, but they won't make an uproar about it.
I don't even think that they like think about it. I think it's just, oh, there's a sex scene happening. But I honestly don't even think they realize like, yeah, I'm watching a sex scene. I think it's just so normal. So when you see somebody like Tom Holland, who's a straight guy, performing a sex scene, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, especially right after, maybe like a couple months ago, we saw Zendaya in a new trailer and she was having sex. She was having like a threesome with some niggas or whatever. And people are trying to make it seem like it's just jokes, but people are trying to make it seem like this is Tom Holland's version of revenge on Zendaya because he was jealous, and it's just jokes or whatever.
Yeah, because she was getting tag team in another clip
tag team
ago in a pro show she's in or a movie she's working on.
It's just weird that there's always a debate about maybe like the morality of gay sex scenes, but no one ever has that same conversation about the plethora.
Yeah.
Of just straight sex scenes, and it just seems so natural to us.
All out of wedlock too.
We just had the Idol. Yeah. We were just talking about the Idol.
And if you want to look at it from that angle,
right?
Sin is sin. You can use the same logic against them.
We're talking over each other. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I think we're talking about two different things, but you got it.
Oh, I was just saying, like, because I was responding to what you were saying about how, like, the responses are different. I'm like, these same people who claim to be like, that's my religion, so of course I'm like, well, you don't complain about the straight sex scenes, and that's out of wedlock sex being depicted on TV and quote unquote debauchery. Sin is sin. There's no rankings and levels of sin. I don't care what you're doing. If you're violating sin, you're a sinner, and you're gonna get punished. According to the Bible.
Get punished.
It's not. You can't be. If you're a real Christian, you can't be out here having all kinds of out of wedlock sex, and then be like, the gays are going to hell. Not me though.
People were saying, like, this is y'all Spider-Man. I don't know. See, it's like, is it jokes or is it just the homophobia now has a reason to come out?
It's the homophobia, yeah. Because plenty of people, but people look at it, a lot of people look at it as if it's like a humiliation ritual by Hollywood. I see that argument all the time.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
You can't really get famous unless you're in a dress or they bend you over on camera. Even if it's implied.
Right.
It's like a demasculation, but then they're going to give you all this money because you did that. Mm. I don't know if I believe that completely.
I don't believe that shit for a second.
I don't know. I definitely do think there's probably, you could get more roles, I guess. I don't know. Like, what if Denzel did a gay sex scene? What do you think people would say? I think that would be like...
They'd probably say the same thing. The homophobes would come out and be like, oh my God, they got to Denzel. This is the thing, though. These are actors. So their argument is stupid because if you're an actor and you're open to doing more roles that require you to perform somebody who isn't the same sexuality that you actually hold in reality, or, be a disabled person when in reality you're a perfectly abled person, or you're playing a neurotypical or an neuroatypical role when you actually are neurotypical. Yeah, you're going to get more roles because you have more range. You're better at your job. So it's kind of stupid for them to think that they're only getting those roles because they're performing as a gay person or whatever the fuck. That argument doesn't make any sense. That's why with these conspiracy theories, I hate a lot of these conspiracy theories because a lot of them aren't even based in anything like factual. It's just people coming up with some shit that sounds good because it's connected to that conspiracy theory, which is connected to that conspiracy. And we already hate the gays. So it makes sense that if you're performing as a gay person, you're going to get more roles and you're going to get rewarded for it. It's all very stupid. This nigga is an actor. Zendaya is an actor. Sometimes you're going to have to get fucked.
They're getting a check. At the end of the day, I get the people saying that they're being blindsided on Twitter because it's like, it might not even just be. I guess that is technically the definition of homophobia. I'm like, yeah. I just don't get blindsided by shit. Period. I get blindsided by like porn. I just follow somebody and they just retweet some straight porn. I'm like, I'm scrolling looking for crypto shit, and you just send a dick going in and out of a pussy, and it's like, whoa.
It is
like, distasteful. I'm looking for crypto shit, and I'm a straight man. But when I'm ready for that, I'm getting on the hub.
But wasn't nobody
Instagram models.
Wasn't nobody saying that same thing when we seen all these Lena the Plug videos being dropped on Twitter? I ain't see nobody saying that.
People were cracking jokes about that one. I've been seeing this picture of her like choking on a dildo for weeks leading up to the release of this shit.
Goodness.
It's like, and her eyes are like all like cross-eyed, and she's like choking on like a black dildo, and like they've been sharing that shit and cracking jokes about that for weeks.
We were laughing at the fact that after this recent video of her came out where she's performing with she's getting black, man. Like, I'm not even gonna try to tiptoe the line. We already talked about it last week, but we were laughing at the fact that Academics held a live stream event where he was reacting in live time. Yes, on the release date, he was ready, like he was music dropping. And he was doing a reaction video to a fucking porn video and commentating on this
like he was a sports commentator.
Like he was a play-by-play sports
he flipped over. He's going 12 inches in and 12 inches out. He's talking crazy.
She's taking deep breaths. She's biting the
bed. She's biting the pillow.
Now they're in missionary. And he's stroking her down in the missionary. We were laughing about that.
That's some weird shit, bro. But his fan base, they enjoy that shit. His fan base, I think he has one of the weirdest fan base academics. He has one of the weirdest fan bases on the internet. I don't think it gets called out enough.
He's one of the weirdest niggas.
Yeah. They're these weird, sadistic, they're sadist hip hop fans. They like hip hop, they like the drama, but they're sadists. They like seeing the chaos. They like seeing the Chicago dudes shooting each other and then academics reports on it and we talking crazy in the comments.
Yeah. And academics is a weird ass nigga too. I think I've seen a video where he was watching, I don't know if it was porn, but he was watching another clip and it happened to be the same dynamic, an interracial white and black dude or a white girl and black dude. I don't know if they was fucking, but he looked like he was getting off to it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where he's kind of making faces? I wouldn't be surprised. No, but I've seen videos of him making these sexual ass faces at shit. Just I think he's married to a white, not married, but I think he's only dating white girls too. I think this is his bag. I think this is a little fetish thing that he has going on.
Yeah, he was dating Selena Powell, ran through. I mean, every dude in the fucking industry. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she does OnlyFans, but I think Snoop got exposed for sleeping with her and cheating on his wife with her.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
She been with everybody.
So he likes white girl porn stars.
She exposes them actively. She exposes them actively, too.
Y'all think that Academics is doing this for y'all, talking to the audience. Academics is doing this because he enjoys it. Academics is watching this shit and getting off to this shit.
And having an audience to do it. That's some weird freak shit.
That's nasty, yo. Put that in perspective. If people are watching this nigga get off to a porn video, in the porn video another nigga is watching it getting off, that's weird.
You know when he clipped that shit, he had the lube ready. When he cut off that podcast, he's all right, time to jack off now.
He had the Jergens next to his bedside. This nigga is nasty. I don't know. I thought that was funny. We were laughing about that.
Yeah.
What do we want to do next?
Let's move into Wonka. Let's end it with Wonka.
We skipped Mariah.
I kind of don't want to talk about Mariah, but we can.
You're a Mariah guy, bro. You bring the Mariah topics every week. You don't want to give us our weekly dose of Mariah gossip?
We're gonna cover it. So Moriah Mills, the supposed mistress of Zion Williamson. She's been ranting for now a month now. Ranting about this guy. People, it's getting to the point where people are making memes where they'll see her tweets and their eyeballs burst into flames, or they see her tweets and they're blocking her and shit because she's
it's a lot.
Dude,
she's a lot.
It's over now.
She's a lot.
Nobody cares anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So she escalated today saying that Zion owes her $62,000, something like that, and that she was covering up that he was abusing her, physically abusing her, and that his boys are helping her. I'm like, shit, I want to believe her, but you've been clout chasing and lying for weeks.
This is what she said.
I don't really know.
She dropped it on TikTok. She said, domestic abuse since 2022. He was paying me to be silent and not mention the abuse. That's kind of bars a little bit. He beat me our entire relationship. R spelled A-R-E. He beat me our entire relationship. I'm scared for my life. He has his thug friends calling to hurt me. Anything happens, it was Zion. Oh, that's a typo. If anything happens, it was Zion.
And listen, I give women the benefit of the doubt majority of the time. Now,
are
there women who lie? And yes, but I think the majority of the time they're telling the truth. Right. I can't get behind her on this one. She's been doing too much clout chasing and too much lying. That should have been the first thing you came out with. I don't
know if it's a shoulda, woulda, coulda thing.
You spend a month trolling and joking, and now you want to talk about the abuse. Now I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know if it's a shoulda thing. I know what you're saying. What we're trying to say, because I kind of agree with what you're saying. I'm in the same boat. When it comes to domestic abuse of women, I try to be I'm going to believe women on this one. Because more often than not, they're telling the truth. And that's just statistically proven. But when it comes to Moriah Mills in this situation, bro, we covered the timeline. We've been covering this shit for weeks now. Like you said, this has been happening for like a couple of months now. She let out with conversation about the fact that Zion was cheating on her. That's where she got all the claim, all the clout. Then she comes out with claims about her being pregnant. Then she comes up with claims about her being paid to stay silent and the NBA needs to know I exist and all this shit. And now the conversation kind of dries up and you drop this bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost seems like in a way she's trying to just, like that's what you were saying, it almost seems like she's trying to carry the clout and make sure her name is just staying trending by dropping a news bomb about domestic abuse, which is very trending and is a very serious situation and serious topic. It almost kind of takes away from the gravity if you were to lead out with that story.
Exactly.
That this conversation should have. Instead, people are going to clown you for this and tell you that you're lying.
Yeah. It's like, because like, we're at the point where it's like, it's very obvious you've been clout chasing because she escalates it. You notice there's an escalation.
Yes, every time.
First it was, I was sleeping with him. Then he was giving me money. Then when that dried up, oh, I'm pregnant now. Now it's, oh, he's beating me. After a month, I don't know, man. And if she's lying, Zion gonna sue her to oblivion and get all that money back.
He could, yeah, he could.
And they're gonna take all that OnlyFans money. He gonna get. Not only did he get to pipe, he gonna be able to sell pipe for free because he drained her of everything because she was lying.
Yeah, but he's been super silent about this situation. I think which is for the best too, because this lady, it sucks to say because I don't want to make it seem like I don't take this conversation about the domestic abuse seriously. It just kind of sucks that she's kind of like a clown in this situation, man.
No, she's making it like a joke.
It's been a joke the entire time almost.
Yeah.
Like she is the joke. Moriah Mills is the porn star and dating Zion Williamson. It just seems like she's like clout hungry.
Well, that's all I really got to say about Moriah.
Yeah, let's move on to what you were talking about with Wonka.
Yeah, man. So the last thing going was Wonka. You know, for us who saw Willy Wonka, I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw the Depp one in the theaters when I was a kid. I think I went with either with my school or I went with some friends or something, but I saw that in theaters.
Mm.
The movie used to always I liked it, but I thought it was creepy. I don't know why. Like I liked it though. It wasn't enough for me not to watch it a lot. It's a good movie. I don't know why I thought it was weird. So anyway, Timothée Chalamet, he's appearing in a remake. You know, this Hollywood has no imagination. All they can do is leech off the past.
Yeah.
Anything they feel like can guarantee get them money, but that's not even working anymore. That's slowly starting to die off now. People want to see new shit.
Mm-hmm. We're not gonna see nothing in a minute with all these fucking strikes going
flops.
on. No, I'm talking about the strikes.
Oh yeah, we're not seeing nothing for a minute with all these strikes. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't believe it. I think Wonka has an energy. Just has like I know he's playing it's a prequel. He's playing like a young Wonka getting in the game, getting in the chocolate game. But like, I don't know if I like him as an actor. I just don't think this is it for him.
Yeah, you saying you don't believe that he could play this role or what?
I think we just need somebody a little bit more depth to play it. Like a younger, like kind of like I'm trying to think of like who would be good for this role. Who's somebody you know that's like real kind of goofy? Like, I feel like you got to be kind of goofy, but like there's like an intelligence there to the goof.
I don't have the same.
That's what I see.
I don't have the same response that everybody had about Timothée Chalamet playing this role. I think that because it's a prequel to whatever we see, like the older 30-year-old, 40-year-old Wonka, where he's already developed himself as Willy Wonka, the chocolate guy. I think you could be anybody. I think it's just going to be a heartfelt family movie where you're just going to go watch a story about how the chocolate factory and Willy Wonka became a thing. I don't think he needs to be at that point. We don't know what the fuck happened to this guy. This nigga is hanging out with Oompa Loompas. Like he probably had some, I don't know, the movie's probably going to walk us through it. Like he probably has some type of experience where he changes, into like a Wonka guy. In the Willy Wonka, or is it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? I get them confused. But in the last movie with Johnny Depp, it kind of hinted at the fact that there's like trauma in his past, like with his parents and stuff. Maybe they'll get into that, and that kind of makes him a little wonky. I don't know. I didn't have the same sentiment that everybody else had about like clowning this guy because he wasn't wonky enough. I didn't feel that.
Because I think people respect Depp. I mean,
Depp
speaks for himself. I think he killed it. I think that's hard to live up to.
That's his bag.
That's his bag. I just feel like people say he's just not bringing energy. He's just kind of like, yeah, you want some chocolate? Like, he ain't really like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. We have to see. I will watch the movie when it comes to streaming. It's going to come to Disney Plus. I'll watch it.
That's me with everything these days, man. Yeah. I'm not going to go see nothing in the theaters these days. Nothing is taking me out of the home.
I do not want to get ruined, so I go sit on open night.
Yeah.
No question.
I don't think anything is worth it these days. Thank you for chilling in with us. Appreciate you guys all. You can catch us same place, same time next week. You know the deal, for another new episode of the Top Tier Podcast. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Okay.